So no excuses that I forgot, I didn't realize the quiz is due. Okay, no complaints, please. Here is the little 3-page handout. Download it now because you'll need it. The Tuesday lecture on statistics is available here already. It's posted. I think I did post it. Let's check. Yeah, it is posted. All right. So if you missed Tuesday class, again, which is not a required one, not a problem, you may want to watch that. And these are the activities that I just mentioned, right? So if you click here, you will get these two things. One is the APA text-based tutorial that takes you through all the steps that you need to know. And at the end, you'll see something like the learning is completed, or whatever that screen says. Just take a picture of that and post it. And I'm also asking you to write a short summary, the usual 200 words or so, about points that were new to you, that you didn't realize, you didn't know about, that may be useful for your assignment 2. Or you can watch a step-by-step guide for APA style student papers. Remember, in APA 7, which is different from APA 6, the student papers are different from professional papers. So what we are learning is the student paper. So do one of these two and get 4 points. Next Thursday at 2:30, there will be the colloquium on applying to grad school that was canceled, not canceled, that was delayed, rescheduled 2 weeks ago. It's going to be on the 19th of November at 2:30 on Zoom. As usual, I'm asking you to post a little summary, again, 200 words of what you have learned, will have learned in that colloquium if you go to it. I think there might be one more in December, but it may be too late for us. So that would be the last chance for you to do that. All right, finally, assignment 2. This is where we are now. We have a bunch of new documents for you to use for assignment 2. One of them is what we will use today, called chi-square calculation template in Excel. You should download it. I will also post it in the chat when we get to it. I have also posted a rubric for assignment 2, which is different from assignment 1 because assignment 1 was a review, a literature review, so to speak. This is an empirical study, so it's quite different. Please download that. And if you would like to model your work on good research that uses observation, then this section called Read Research Articles with the Observation Method. I think there are at least 2 or maybe even 3. 2. So there's dental fear and parents reading numerical books to babies. All right, so if you read these without focusing too much on statistics, just in terms of design and materials, how do people write about observations? These would be good. There's also something that you should download and have with you. I'm putting everything out in front so you can compare your work to something that already exists. So sample assignments 2, right here, and okay, sample assignment C obviously got a C. So you could have a look at this, but remember it's a bad one. A sample assignment A is the one for you to look at and to use as your sort of guide, and sample figure. So assignment 2A and sample figure are the documents that you will need. Sample C, you could grade it using the rubric and see what you'll get. Okay, does anybody have any questions about the Blackboard stuff? Good. Let's go back to where we are now. Okay, so what we will do today, most of you have finished your data collection, yay. And hopefully you did the coding in Excel. Remember, the goal of that coding is to get 4 numbers for your 2x2 contingency table, which is going to be our next step. At least one of the people in the group should have access to a computer with Excel, or you could use a remote. You can use Google Sheets, I think it's called. Doesn't matter. One of the Excel compatible software pieces should be available to you. And if every single member of the group can do that individually, that's even better. That means that all of you will learn it together. And of course, I need you to open your group document that you will put the results in. Please do not create anything new, because I just can't follow with 20 different documents from one group. I want you to use your previous Google document that you started using. If that's the one that you used for assignment 1, that's fine, as long as you start at the top. Now, the reason why I insist that you do all your work in the Google Doc, especially for assignment 2, because that's the only way for us, for me, and for you guys to ascertain how much each of the group members contributed to the writing. Because when you go to a Google Doc, let's do that actually. I need to show you. Yes, it's here. If you go to File, I'm going to do it in a separate web browser so that okay, Google Drive. I'm just going to use whatever I have here. Okay, shared with me. Okay, good. So here is a group document that I'm going to show you, and I hope that Cholania and Alma don't mind, because I'm not going to look at any content. I'm just going to show you how one would work with that. Okay, share. All right, so here is a group Google Doc. If you go to File, you have version history on the, well, inside the tab, and then you can click on See Version History. All right, so what's going to happen is that you will see exactly who and when contributed to the Google Doc. All right, so once you, all of you, all 3 of you or 2 of you are working in the same document, you can show the rest of the world, me in particular, that you all contributed equally. That's what I need to know. I'll show you a form that you will have to fill out at the end that has to do with contribution of each members of the group to the group work. But this document allows us to be very objective. Who did what, when? Okay? That's why I'm asking you to do all the work in the Google document. And when it's done, you download it, okay, using a way of downloading it. I'm in version history, that's why I can see that. So if you go to File, you can download, and you can download in PDF, or you can download in Word. Remember, you have to check to make sure that everything is saved correctly. So if you're doing your work somewhere else, there is no way for us to know. That's why I remind you that all the work for assignment 2 that has to do with writing should be done in a Google Doc. Again, any questions that you might have regarding this point? Okay, so open your group Google Doc right now. If you have your individual one for statistics that we did on Tuesday, you can have this one open too. Okay, so next step is for you guys to open your Excel data file, the one that has your data. Presumably, if you collected just 30 participants for 3 member groups or 20 participants for 2 member groups, you will have 31 rows in your Excel file. You will have 5 columns where each column name is a combination of each of the levels of a predictive variable and response variable. All right, so what I have here is, actually I need to get out of the presentation mode. I have my little Excel, my little example for the leg crossing behavior. All right, it won't let me do it this way. Okay, I'm gonna take a second to, okay, I don't want to do that. Okay, good, now I can share it with you in the different mode. Here we go. Okay, so you are creating this contingency table. It doesn't have to be created in Excel. It can be created in your notebook, or better, it should be created in your Google Doc, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start with a predictive variable. Now this is a template, which means that you need to replace all these labels with your stuff. So I'm gonna use my leg crossing behavior example. So my predictive variable is gender, and level 1 is men, and level 2 is women. So whatever you guys have as your predictive variable, do we have to add it to the Google Doc as well as add you to the Excel file? No, you don't need to add me to the Excel file. No, just the Google Doc. If I'm already a member of your Google Doc, obviously you don't need to do it again. But again, I'm trying to ask you not to proliferate endless Google Docs. I want one, hopefully one and the same. All right, next is my response variable. Again, in my leg crossing behavior, this variable is leg crossing. Whether the person crossed her or his legs or not within 2 minutes of sitting down. So my first level is yes, crossing. My second level is no, crossing. Okay, so you guys need to produce a table like this. You can do it together in your Google Doc for the group, or you can do it separately in your individual Google Doc. All right. And the next step is to put numbers here, right? Numbers that come from your Excel file. Again, I'm using my fictional example of the leg crossing behavior, and just to match it to what you have done, not to what we did on Tuesday where we looked at 700 participants, but to match it to your situation. I'm gonna say that I had 15 men and 15 women, and I'm going to play with that because I know what I would like to find. So I'm gonna say that among my 15 men, 5 crossed their legs and 10 did not. And in my women sample of 15 women, 11 women crossed their legs and 4 did not. So you need to create a a table like this in your Google Doc. And if you're doing it together as a group, which is fine with me, I need to see in the chat your group number. Let's say group number 1. Yes, that means you have that contingency table filled with your actual data. I'm not asking you to punch in the data in chat. I just need to know that you are done so I can move on to the next slide. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do it. As soon as you're done, type in the group number and word yes. If you are not sure what I'm asking you to do, please raise your hand or type something in the chat so I can repeat whatever is not clear to you, what I'm asking you to do. Your numbers could, if you by any chance observed more than 30, again, which is fine, your numbers will be slightly different. The question is, Jeremiah, if you don't know what I'm asking you to do, let me know so I can go over the step again. Okay, so no, Jeremiah, for this contingency table that's on the screen. So here's my empty contingency table. Romain, you're watching me, right? Here, you're going to put your predictor variable. In the little example that I had about leg crossing behavior, my predictor variable was gender. Your predictor variable is whatever it is in your observation plan. All right. And then I'm going to put my 2 levels of gender, which is I prefer men and women because male and female are adjectives. Are you following me, Romain? What? Good. All right. So these are the rows. Now in the columns, I'm going to put my response variable, which is leg crossing. Okay. But yeah. All of our variables, both of them, predictor and the response, are categorical, which means they only have 2 levels. So the first level of response variable is yes, crossing. That means that the person crossed his legs. The second one is no. Okay. Still okay, Romain? Are you still with me? Good. So now we have these 4 cells. We need to put the numbers from your coding schema in your Excel. That is, how many men crossed legs? Well, I am creating this data from my head. You have your data because you collected it. So 5 men crossed their legs and 10 didn't because I only observed 15 men. Now, for women, 11 women crossed their legs and 4 didn't. Okay? Can you fill out your table now? Okay, good. All right, so group 1, are you guys done?
Hi, Professor. Aside from just like working on the editing, the whole group is on our Google Doc. We're
Mhm.
not done, but we are very close. We just have to like pretty much, it's our formatting issue, but we have the numbers and we have the table, so we're
Okay,
almost there. Yeah.
fantastic. All right, Tara, Norma, and Edgar, do you guys finish your contingency table?
Um, I'm working on it right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, good. Group number 3. Oh, I don't have my sheet with me. Group number 3 is Jeremiah, Sajiro, and Stephanie. Are you guys? Group 8 done. Fantastic.
I'm plugging in the last bits of data now.
Good. So I'll hear from you in a second. Irving and Joanna. Okay, group 7 done. Fantastic. Group number 4, Irving and Joanna. Do you guys have your contingency table?
We're working on finishing it up now.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Group number 5 done. Fantastic. Group number 6, Alma and Chalani. You counting. Okay, good. 7 good, 8 good. Group 9 is still working. Okay, good. And Tyrell and Shadima, group number 10. Elizabeth is working. Okay, good. Tyrell and Shadima, group number 10. And the group number 11, Romain and Irina. Still working. Okay, another couple of minutes.
Professor?
Go ahead.
Professor, this is Dee Dee. I just wanted to let you know that I'm calling in today. I've been in class. I don't want you to mark me absent.
Well, I haven't taken attendance yet, Didi, but we will do that later. Okay, good. You're working with Victoria and Callista, right?
Mm-hmm.
Romain, yes. Tell me, who are you with now? I'm looking probably at the old. Yeah, which group are you in, Romain? You have to remind me because I'm...
My group that I'm with, it is Irving and Joanna.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, right. Irina is by herself. Okay, goody. Right. So you're group number 4, Romain, just in case I I need to update my group schedule. All right. So Irina, you're working on your own, and Elizabeth is working individually as well. So I can see who's who. All right. Okay, I'm going to give you another minute before moving on. So try to finish. Formatting is less important. More important is to get the right configuration of columns and rows, okay? And putting the numbers in correct places. Again, to make my life easy so that I don't switch, I will continue to talk about leg crossing behavior, just as an example. But you understand that whatever I'm doing with leg crossing behavior, you are doing with your data. Okay, so let's go to the next one. The next step is to add a column to the right, call it row margins, and add a row at the bottom and call it column margins. So this is the same table as I had before on the previous slide with 4 numbers, right? So I'm going to retype that so that it is the same. So it's gender, men, women, and this is going to be leg crossing, and it's going to be yes crossing and no. Oops. Crossing, and my numbers were 5 and 10. I'm just, actually I should move that. So what I have here is 5, 10, 11, 4. Okay, our next step is to calculate the margins, that is summing up. So how many men were there in our sample? Well, it's 5 plus 10, 15. How many women were there in our sample? It's 11 plus 4, 15. Okay, now I want to know how many people cross their legs regardless of the gender. Well, it's 5 plus 11, that's 16. And how many people did not cross their legs? It's 10 plus 4 is 14. So your next step is to calculate these margins for your data. Again, in your Google Doc, together, formatting is not that important. Okay, so I want to hear she's saying anything. Audio starting to get super wonky for me. Terrence, yes, I'm asking you to do the margins. Can you see the slides? Terrence, is audio still wonky for you? I'm having so much fun. Say something, Terrence. Okay, who is Terrence's partners? Lewis and Thomas. Talk to him. Okay, whether you're ready or not, we're going to move on to our next slide. I'll keep it in this mode. I hope you can see. I won't go into full PowerPoint mode so I can change things. Okay. So we are going to do chi-square test of independence. That's the first page of a 3-page handout. Okay. So I'm going to stop that for a second and go to that handout. Make it larger. Okay. So here is what we're doing. We're doing the chi-square test of independence, and it is used when we want to determine if two variables are independent. Now, the two variables that we have are our predictor variable and our response variable. There is another chi-square which is meant for one variable for frequency claims. This is for association claims with two variables. Okay, so all you need to remember is that we do chi-square test of independence when we have two, and we don't care about more, categorical variables from which we make predictions. That's exactly what we have. We have two categorical variables. Okay. I'm going to stop this and go back to PowerPoint. It is known as non-parametric test because the variables are categorical. We are looking at frequencies. How many men cross their legs? How many women cross their legs? Okay, these are frequencies. 10 women or 11 women cross their legs. 5 men cross their legs. So what we want to know is, are our two variables, predictor and response, independent of each other? Because if they are independent from each other, then there is no relationship between them. That's it. We're done. Gender has nothing to do with whether people cross their legs or not. So in our leg crossing study, we want to know, does gender affect leg crossing behavior? So now I have my association claim. Okay, and my association claim will be based on one of the levels. So I will say women are more likely to cross their legs than men. Oops. Okay, so you guys need to type in your association claim. Let's do it actually in the chat. So one of the group members, you decide who's going to do it. Again, give us the group number and then your association claim. Is anybody ready to do that? Go ahead, Vanessa.
Question. For one column, I got the same number. So would I say like it doesn't matter whether they are a cyclist or a pedestrian?
What do you mean they are the same number? So let's go back to.
Oh, so for the cross.
So here I'm looking.
Mhm.
Do you see my slide?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So give me your numbers.
First one is 6.
6.
Mm-hmm.
Do I go down or do I go right?
Down is 6 again.
Yep.
And then if you go to the right, it's 10, and then down 12.
Okay, great. But okay. So now your row margin is going to be 16, right? And it's going to be 18, right? And this is going to be 12, and this is going to be 22.
22.
Right. So there are none of them that are the same, which is fine.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought because it's 6 and 6, sorry.
12, right? No,
Mhm.
it's fine. You have actual numbers, so they are
Mhm.
quite different from what I have. So it's fine. These are the actual numbers that we want to have. Okay, Vanessa, are you ready? Okay, so we have group 2 says children are less likely to stop at a crosswalk with adult than alone. Are you sure, Tara? Are you sure that I would predict that children are more likely to stop at the crosswalk when they are with an adult? Think about it. Look at your numbers. Seaver, Jasmine, Rita, can you guys give us your association claim? Oh, 7. Okay, good. Young adults more likely to text while walking than middle-aged adults. Perfect. Good, good. Seaver, younger people are more likely to wear masks correctly compared to older people. Okay, good. 6, women are more likely to wear a mask. Men are less likely to be wearing a mask. Okay, you're a little verbose, but it's totally understandable. Okay, good. 3, Jeremiah, Sadiru, Stephanie, you guys have your claim. Group 8, females are more likely to be on the phone. Males are more likely not to be on the phone. All right, you can, Victoria, you could compress the sentence by using more likely than, and then you don't have to write two things. Okay, good. Eileen, Milana, Vanessa, can you guys, oh, did you already do that? I missed you. No, okay. Pedestrians are more likely to cause a disturbance on walking and biking lanes than cyclists. Okay, good. Alman Sholani did that. Lisbeth, 7. We have 2, right? 7. Kim, Jenny, Monica. To wear mask than men. I would be surprised, Lisbeth, if that's correct. All right. Thomas, Lewis. I know Terrence can't hear anything, but you can, right? Tyrell and Chidima and Irina. Okay. Older ages are more likely to wear masks in public than those younger. Okay, luxury vehicle drivers are less likely to yield to pedestrians. All right. Okay, good. Everybody's. Now we're going to go a little bit into technical stuff. We're not going to actually do a lot of that. I just want you to understand how chi-square is calculated. So follow me both with the slides and with a handout, the one that I just showed you. So here is this scary looking formula. It's not very scary, I promise. So this is a Greek letter chi, and it's chi squared, right? F stands for frequency. That is, how many people. And there are 2 types of frequencies that we need for chi-square. We need what we observed. This is what is in your Excel, and something that's called expected, which I'll talk about in a second. And then the Greek letter sigma means sum. So here the mathematical step will be summing up. Now, where do we start? Well, first we have to get our observed frequencies. That is your contingency table. Your bunny jumped. Okay, my chinchilla is well contained. He's not going to jump. It's all right. So the observed frequencies are the numbers from the contingency table, right? So there's 4 of them because it's a 2 by 2. So we have men crossing 5, men not crossing 10, women crossing 11, women not crossing 4. And in Vanessa's example, we have 6, 6, 10, 12. All right. So these are the numbers. So this part of the equation of the formula is easy because we already have all of that. What we don't have, we don't see it, is what is called expected frequencies, okay? Where do we get these? We get them from the margins, all right? Okay? We take the expected should be little f. The margin for the row multiplied by the margin in the column, and we divide it by the total number of participants. Okay? Now it looks like whatever. I already changed this, but let me go back to where I was. So I'm going to change it again so you can see. All right. So 5, 10, 11, 4, 15, 15. They happen to be the same. That's not a problem. 14, 16. All right. So the formula says take 15 multiplied by 16 and divided by n, and our n is 30. That is, we have 30 observations. So we'll get expected frequency 1. Then we're going to take 15 and now multiply it by 14 and divide it by 30. So that's step number 2. Then we're going to take 15 multiplied by 16. It's easy because these 4 multiplications are in pairs. So 15 times 16 twice. 15 times 14 twice. And n is always 30. So what we will get is we will have 15 times 16, and that has to be squared. Again, you're not doing that. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what it means to calculate expected frequencies. Okay? Divided by, oops, not so good. Font. Divided by 30. Whatever this number is, I don't care. Men not crossing is exactly the same, except that this is also 15, right? So it's exactly the same. Copy. Women is going to be a little bit different. Is that the same? Let me just go back. 16 times 15. All right. 16. Okay, no. All right. Times 15 divided by 30. Ah. Copy. Copy. All right, paste. And the same. We're not doing these calculations. I'm just showing you what we have to do. All right. And then going back to the original formula, okay, we have to sum them up. So we will have to, going back the wrong way, we will have to take this number plus this number plus, right, this number and plus this number. And then we're going to get our chi-square. Ta-da! And if you look at the handout, Going back to the handout, they have a different example here. They look at how men and women carry books. If you go to the second page, this is the contingency table that we just did. Numbers, of course, are different from mine and from yours. Terrence, let's focus on chi-square, not on bunnies. All right. And here is how you would calculate these expected frequencies. All right. Here they are. Using margins. And then you add them up. Okay. Using the observed frequency. So in my case, it might be 5 minus whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Again, we don't care about doing any math here. What we care about is our final result, which is our chi-square. Yeah. And this chi-square is huge, huge. Okay. Finally, here they are. Whoops. Here's the table where you have the observed frequencies. These are numbers by themselves. And then the expected frequencies that are in parentheses. And these are the numbers that are here in the calculation. And now we need to interpret this by comparing this number 25.8 using a critical chi-square table. Let's go back to Excel, to PowerPoint. Again, I'm not asking you to do these calculations as long as you understand where the expected frequencies are coming from. Okay. We need also degrees of freedom, and they're very simple for us. Number of rows, well, we only have 2 minus 1. Number of columns, we only have 2 minus 1 multiplied. So our degrees of freedom is 1. And here is the critical chi-square values table. And our degrees of freedom is 1. Oops. These are degrees of freedom. Here is 1. So for this formula result to be significant, our number has to be larger than this number. And the same is going to happen to you guys. So this is the number that you need to write down. You will need your chi-square value to be larger than 3.841. So 3.841. Write this down and keep it in mind. And you don't need to look at the rest of the table. We'll go through this again once you do your chi-square using the template. So now you'll say, I don't want to calculate all of that. Nah, we don't need to calculate all of that. Excel will do it for us as long as we know what we're doing. Okay, so let me close this and show you the template. Okay, of course. If you haven't downloaded it, the template from Blackboard, do it now while I'm opening the Excel. Okay, I'm also going to put it in the chat. Okay. Ooh. All right. I can't do that, so you have to download it from the Blackboard. Disconnect. Okay. I don't know why. So what you should be seeing, let's do it. Is file that looks like this. Okay. Who doesn't have it in front of you? I mean, at least one per group. This is the template for the chi-square calculation. I need everybody to be with me. So I'm not going to move forward until I hear from everybody.
On behalf of Group 1, I have it open, and I don't know if Jasmine and Rita, if you guys do, but Group 1 has one open.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Seaver. How about Norma, Edgar, and Tara? Do you guys have that template in front of you? Okay, good. Louis has for the whole group.
I'm
Jeremy.
trying to open it now. I can't find it.
It's on the Blackboard. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay, so go to Blackboard assignment 2.
oh, okay. I see.
Okay, so download it. Okay, good, Jeremiah. Romain, you and Joanna and Irving, do you guys have it? Lisbeth says.
Yeah, we have it.
Okay, good. Eileen, Milan, and Vanessa, how about you guys? Okay, perfect. I see Alma. Okay, good. And Shalani. Right. Kim, Jenny, and Monica, how about you guys? Okay, good, perfect. Victoria, yes. Thomas, yes. Tyrell and Shijima. Irina? Shijima, yes. Okay, Irina is the last person I'm waiting for. Irina? Okay, we're not going to wait for the last person. Okay, yes, good. Perfect. So let's see what you have to do here. So look at observed results. These are your 4 numbers, the ones that you have in your contingency table. The expected results would be those expected frequencies that you would calculate the way I showed it to you a minute ago without doing that. So what we need to do is very simple now. The layout is a little different from the way I laid it out in the PowerPoint. So in the column A, see that green stuff? These are the levels of your response variable. So type them in. And in columns B and C, you have the levels of the predictive variable. So type them in. And the next step is make sure that the right numbers go into the right cells. Type in your numbers. So Vanessa had 6, 6, 10, and 12, or something like that. Make sure that the numbers go in the correct cell. Once you do that, you will see that rows 18 through 20, don't look at 21 and 22. this is called the corrected chi-square for numbers when you have fewer than 5. I mean, I do have 1, 4, but we're not going to do that. We will not be doing any correction. So all we care about are 3 lines, 18, 19, and 20. 18 is something that you already know. It's your degrees of freedom. 2 minus 1 multiplied by 2 minus 1, 1. What you care about is the next line. It's your chi-square. So here, the chi-square is 4.821. And now I need to interpret that. Remember, I need to compare this number, the one that I just received from my little example, 821, versus 3841, right? So 4.8 is the obtained chi-square, and 3.8 is the chi-square that comes from the table. If my obtained chi-square, which is 4.8, is larger than this critical value, 3841, then we have significant results. Okay, we have significant results because now let's look at line number 20, because our p-value, the actual p-value, is 0.0281. And we need our p-value to be less than 0.05. So now we have to compare 0.0281 versus 0.05. Okay. If our p is less than 0.5, which it is, 281 is less than 0.05, we have significance, which means that our variables are not independent of each other. They actually are dependent on each other. That is, gender in my case, right, in this example, gender matters whether you cross legs or not. All right, so once you have this, these two numbers, because obviously degrees of freedom, I'm gonna, because it's kind of hard to write a chi-square, I'm gonna use x, x square. We will write degrees of freedom in parentheses equals the actual number for 821, p less than 0.05. Okay, so all the groups, let's do the same. Give me your chi-square in this format. But remember, when we write it in Word, it's going to be not x squared, it's going to be chi-square. So I would like to see your, this is called chi-square statement. I would like to see your chi-square statement in the chat. Tell me if you're having issues, if something is not working for you. Oh, okay. You should be. It's set up as a fillable file. Also note that as you, okay, good, Jenny. Fantastic, Jenny, perfect. Now remember guys, just another little APA point here that all the statistical symbols like chi-square and p will have to be in italics. Again, not in Excel, but in your Word document. Fantastic. Note that as you punch in your numbers, this figure, which is here, I'm just highlighting it, will be created. And this is an APA formatted figure, so we will work with it next, but I want to see chi-square results from everybody. So we have the results from group 7. Very good. And it's significant. Ta-da! Excellent work, Jenny and Monica and Kim. So 7, significant, perfect. Jenny, you could try to write the narrative that will go into the results. Use the handout on chi-square page 3. In the box, there is the language. Replace the language from the handout with your variables in your chi-square results and type it into your Google Doc under the results heading. And anybody else, as soon as you give me your chi-square. Okay. Whoa, Victoria, fantastic. That's huge, huge. Okay, hugely significant. Okay, you guys the same. So go to the handout page 3 in, I'm gonna stop sharing this for a second so I can go back to the handout. Okay, that's the box that I talk about. So write your results like this by replacing the variables from the handout with your variables. Excellent. Good job. That's how we will have to include it in the paper. Yes, that is the APA style to report the results. Note that I didn't do it completely correctly because you also need degrees of freedom are written like this: 1, comma, n, obviously in italics. Let's say I'm having 30 people. All right. Not just one, but also the sample size goes into parentheses. Look at the box. Okay, other groups, please start sending your chi-squares my way. 8, 9, Seaver? Seaver, look at your number.
Yes.
Your number is 3.6. What was the critical number that your number should be larger than?
So
That number, Seaver, was 3.841. Look at your number, it's 3.636. Which one is larger?
So 3.841 is larger than our number of
Yes.
3.636.
Which
Okay.
means that your p-value is larger than 0.05 and you have no significance. So in your case, you did not find a relationship between your predicted variable and your response variable. The same goes to you, Jeremiah. If your chi-square value is 2.22, you have nothing. You have no relationship. Victoria, the answer to your question is yes. Just that's how you will write it. I forgot to put that n equals, oh, you had 78 participants. Fantastic. Wow. No wonder your chi-square is so large. Perfect. Okay, Seaver, not a problem. Good. Louis, perfect, but please write the statement correctly. So after chi-square, Louis, open up parentheses, write 1, comma, n equals whatever your sample size was. Go ahead, Louis, type it in. Okay, don't close the parentheses, Louis. 1, comma, n equals. Fill in the n, Louis. How many participants did you have in your observation? 30. Okay, you forgot the comma. N should be capital. X square 1, comma, n, oops, n equals 30. Okay, Louis, what's your obtained chi-square value? $4.386. Yes, you have to write capital N equals 30. Look, Louis, look at this page that you should be seeing on the screen. You see this? This is how you write the statement. This, in this example, it's N52. In your example, it's 30. Okay, good. So, Seaver, please rewrite your statement correctly, and Jeremiah the same. I'm waiting for Norma, Edgar, and Tara. Irving, Romaine, and Joanna. Eileen, Milana, Vanessa, were you guys? Alma and Shalani. Okay. Lisbeth. 7, 8, 9. Okay, Louis is okay. Significant. No. No. And Tyrell and Chidima and Irina. I need your chi-square results. Louis, please look See, there is a comma between the p-value and your obtained, and look at your symbol. Why are you saying that p is larger than 0.05? Your number, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Okay. Okay, Lewis, one more attempt. Let's do it right. Oh, Vanessa. Oh, yay, nothing, right? Ouch. Okay, Vanessa, yeah, too bad. 5, nothing. Nope. Romaine. Romaine, I don't see your chi-square value. What did you get? You cannot just have a p without having the actual value. Chidima, your statement doesn't make any sense because look at the screen, Romaine and Chidima. See the stuff in yellow. Can you guys see my screen, or maybe you're not seeing it? I'll make it even larger. Okay, Romaine. Good. Let's fix the problems. Romaine, look at the screen. Can you see the formula in yellow? Fix yours. Okay, good, Chidima, fix that. Norma, Edgar, Tara. Yes, Jeremiah, perfect. I mean, perfect. You have no results, but it's written correctly. Yes, Louis. Finally, yes. Very good. Norma, Edgar, Tara, hello. Irving. Okay, Romaine was doing something, right? Romaine, you're here. Right, you just need to fix the statement. Okay, Alma and Cholani. Tara, okay, let's look. Tara, fix the degrees of freedom. Look at the screen. That's how it should be written. Yeah. So group 4 also has nothing, right? 6. Alma and Chidi and Shalani, you guys. 36. Okay, perfect. Very good. Significant. All right. I'm waiting for Tyrell and Chidima. Once you guys are done, Irina and Lisbeth, and Norma, Edgar, and Tara. Another couple of minutes. Everybody else who is done, take this paragraph and type it in your results section in your Google Doc. I'm still waiting to hear from everybody else, but you have the handout, so I'm going to close it. This is Tara. Okay. Nothing. Group 2, nothing. Okay, so what I have, I'm still missing Tyrell and Chidima, Lisbeth, and Irina. So you guys have to send me something. Otherwise, we have groups 1 through 5 have no statistical results. That means their variables are not connected. There is no relationship. Group 6, 7, 8, 9, ta-da! You guys found statistically significant relationship. Perfect. I'm going to close this and go back to what we need to finish. That is to our PowerPoint. So we have done that. We have looked at the Excel template. Chidima. Okay, yep. You don't have anything either. That's group 10. Nothing. And Irina and Lisbeth, the only 2 people who are left. All right, so what's left for us at least for now, and we have 12 minutes to do so. We need to create figure 1 and the narrative. Where do we get figure 1? It is already given to us in the Excel. So go back to the Excel, click on the figure, copy and paste it into your results in Google Doc. So it should look like this. Let's look at the components. First of all, you have the word figure, figure 1, in boldface on its separate line. Then comes what's known as caption or title. It's the same, but the APA uses the word caption. So caption, caption follows figure 1, and it should be, okay, it should be in italics. Why it is not? So let's fix that. All right. So figure 1, no period, no nothing, just boldface, followed by caption. Look at the caption. It says frequency, the word frequency of, then comes your response variable. In my case, it's leg crossing behavior as a function of, and then the predictor variable. So people who are done with chi-square, please type in the caption for your figure 1 in the chat. Frequency of mask wearing, behavior as a function of age. Good. Except, Seaver, let's make all the content words in caps. Cholani, good. Frequency of mask wearing as a function of gender. Perfect. Irvin. Okay, almost, Irving, except 11 should have a period to follow, not a comma. Jenny, frequency of distracted talking as a function of age. Okay, yeah, put the word function and frequency in caps. Yes, Irving, that's correct now. Good, Seaver, perfect. All right. Frequency of depression as a function of age. Depression, how did you measure depression? You can't observe it. Chidima, what's your response variable? Tara, frequency of crosswalk behavior as a function of age. Okay, just make them all caps, Tara. Slurred speech. How does slurred speech qualify as depression? I don't understand that. And how did you observe slurred speech? What did you do? Yeah, it's okay, Jeremiah. It's not a problem. We all could have had the same study. Doesn't bother me. Shouldn't bother you. And note that bad posture. Frequency of crosswalk behavior is a function of age. Okay, Irving, just make sure that all words are in caps. Frequency of phone using as a function of gender. Okay, right, good. Note, so now you have figure 1 and you have a caption which is not in boldface, but it's in italics. Note that the legend has a border, right? And the figure is not in color. It has to be. Yeah, it's Vanessa. It's a little verbose. Maybe there's a way. Yeah, I know. We talked about transportation type, and we decided that pedestrians are not transportation type. Maybe we can figure out something. Coming back to the figure, note that we have excess titles. All right, so here's the number of participants, right? Frequency, this is like a histogram. And here we have our response variable. Yeah, maybe. You'll see, Vanessa. And this number will change for you. So mine is kept at 12 because I only had 15 people in each group. Somebody, Victoria, right? You guys have 78. So your number is going to be very different here. But your figure should look like this, right? Okay, so if you have the figure, the last step, and hopefully we are there yet, almost there yet, is the narrative. So your figure is going to be above it. So the narrative is like this. I'm using the dummy example from the handout, but you should keep it as is, but replace the variables with your variables. So this is how it goes. We conducted a chi-square test of independence. Note that this is in caps. It's just the name of the test. To investigate the relationship between the predictive variable and the response variable. Right? Note that we are using past tense because you already have conducted your analysis. So you are reporting it. Therefore, your language here is past tense. Your language in the introduction, the last paragraph where you give your hypotheses and predictions, in that language, you should use future tense. Next sentence. We found that there is a statistically significant relationship. It's for people for whom the p is less than 0.05, and this is groups number 6. So Alma and Shalani, 7. Kim, Jenny, and Monica, 8. Didi, Victoria, and Callista, 9. Thomas, Terrence, and Lewis. I haven't heard back from Irina and Lisbeth, so I don't know. Irina and Lisbeth, I need your chi-square results in the chat. And other people, that is Seaver, Jasmine, Rita, Norma, Edgar, and Tara, Jeremiah, Sajiru, and Stephanie, Irving, Romaine, Joanna, and Eileen, Milan, and Vanessa. You have to change this sentence to saying no statistically significant relationship, right? Because your p is larger than 0.05. Your chi-square value is too small. Okay, and then comes the actual, of course, it shouldn't be in red. I've put it in red to draw your attention to this statement. This is what we call a statistical statement. All right, note that all statistical symbols should be in italics. No statistical symbols, numbers should not be in italics. Oops, I need to have space here. Final sentence, our data suggests that level 1 of the predictive variable are more likely to, Jasmine wants us to send a new one. A new one of what, Jasmine?
You're telling us to fix the P? Like, I'm a little lost on exactly what it is you want us to do with the old chi-square.
Here, this sentence, Jasmine, is not applicable to you because your P is not less than 0.05. Your P is larger than 0.05, which means you have no relationship between your two variables.
Okay.
You understand now?
Yes, I'll check it out. Thank you.
So here, when it says there is statistical significant relationship, you're going to say There was no statistically significant relationship for you. For groups that found no significant chi-square. And no significant chi-square, that means that your chi-square square was less than 3841. If your chi-square in the template came out as less than this number, oh, I'm sorry, it should be 38841. Okay, that means that your p-value is more than 0.005. That means you have no statistical results. And I'm looking at my list and I'm seeing that the first 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, have no significance. 6, 7, 8 have significance. 10, no significance. And I still haven't heard Lisbeth and Irina. Please, I want to see your chi-square. Okay, so everybody else, we are done for now. We'll come back to your Google Doc on Tuesday when we will work on APA style. If you are not available on Tuesday, we'll continue doing that on Thursday. Okay, Irina and Lisbeth, please stay for a minute. Otherwise, the class is over. I'll see you guys next week. Good night.
Professor, I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I texted Tyrell, but he didn't come to class and he didn't respond to my text. I think he's working, but I feel like I'm gonna have to be doing all the work because I did all the observation plan by myself and during this class.
See. All right, can you stay for a second? We have 2 other people who are individuals. Maybe you guys could decide to work together. Can you stay for a minute, Chidima?
Yeah.
Okay, so hang on. Let's wait. So I'm asking Irina and Lisbeth to stay if they're here. Let's see.
Can I stay to ask some questions, please?
Okay, stay put. Let me see. Who is? Chidima, yeah, now we are not in luck. They were here early, but they're not here anymore. Do you want to try to talk to them? Or do you want to? For me, it doesn't really matter. If you want to write your assignment 2 on your own, do you have the data? How many observations do you have, Chidima?
Observations. The 2 articles I have.
No, I'm asking you about your data. How many participants did you observe? Take care, Jeremiah.
I didn't observe any yet.
What were you doing today?
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm asking you how many participants you have observed.
Well, I use myself as an example.
Look, you were supposed to collect your data a week ago, Chidima. Today is the 12th. The deadline for data collection was the 5th.
Did you get my observation plan? I emailed you.
Okay, and where did you do the observations? This is what I don't understand.
Yeah, I did that last week.
So how many people did you observe?
Just the various groups that I saw.
Chudima, you're not answering my question. You were required to observe 30 people if a group of 3, or 20 if you were a group of 2. So do you have 20 observations?
No.
Okay, so how are you going to write your assignment 2 if you don't have your observations?
I don't know. Tyrell and we haven't been discussing.
Chidima, I have no way of getting you guys together. The group work is your responsibility.